Oh, yeah. Oh, buddy. Ooh.
Woo! Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome back, everyone, once again to this week's podcast, which this week will be brought to you by the #1 best marriage saver and video games TV.
This week's podcast is also brought to you by Efficacy and Suppression.
I'm your host, Madison.
I'm your other host, Jesse James. Welcome to our entirely healthy, conversational Leftist Mukbang. I spent the last week extremely sick. If you saw me between last episode and this episode,
Nothing has changed.
I was probably disgusting. Also, the world stopped, so that's the best part.
That did happen too.
Yeah. Thanks.
For amount of world stoppage. But to assist with getting through the world stopping, I have a variety of snacks that I'm pretty friggin' excited about.
I saw an errant bag on your desk.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what that is, etc.
I'm stoked about the bag. Do you also have an assortment, an array?
Yeah, I'll go first because I have a pretty limited set of stuff. So
Sure.
I got this. That's about how much I made it through last time. I'm gonna be getting back into the cook soon dang.
Nice.
I got my amount limiting cup here. I've got a monster because
I'm jealous of that.
Part 1, me nasty. Part 2, I need it. I got a lot of water. And then for food, first off, I got these cough-suppressing licorice bits.
Ooh.
They are Throat and Chest by Jackman.
Ooh.
And then I have also, if you ever make instant noodles, make sure to weigh it down with bread so it heats it up. I've got some Japanese ramen seafood tonkatsu flavor.
Oh shit.
Which I have just heated up and should be ready. So that's my exciting world of snacks over here.
That's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to hear about the quality of the broth of that soup.
Me too.
The seafood ones tend to be kind of like hit and miss. So
it was a gift, but also it's seafood tonkatsu. So I'm hoping the
not much can go wrong.
The fake pork fat qualities of it get it to where I want it to be.
Yeah.
How about over there?
Well, over here, I'll start with the errant bag. So I made a trip to the Asian market the other day and picked up these pure tomato flavor wavy lays.
All right.
So I'm assuming these are probably going to be along the lines of like the Canadian ketchup chips.
I hope so. They look promising.
Yeah. I'm excited about these. I'll open them in a second. I also have a soju situation.
Yeah.
Mandarin flavor. So I'm just gonna. Ow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to know about that immediately.
Yeah, I'll let you know, but the bottle just like cut my hand opening it. Jesus.
Did that just pop the safety ring off?
Huh?
Did the safety ring pop off?
Well, I've already opened it. I opened it
Okay.
a few days ago, so the safety ring just has little like sharp bits on it. I was not paying attention. I also have a peach flavor of that in my fridge, so I might grab that just to try it.
Okay.
Yes.
How's that
Very
mandarin flavor?
Very good. Tastes like juice.
Hell yeah.
Problematic. What else do I have? I also have this beer, this Taiwan beer, Sweet Touch grapefruit flavor.
Okay. That sounds promising as well.
It tastes like grapefruit, so I'm just realizing I have some like heavy citrus themes.
Good for the season.
Yeah, I love this kind of beer because it's like sweet. Some of them are overly sweet, but they still have kind of like a beer aftertaste to them. And I don't drink a lot of beer, but I think the combination of those flavors is pretty good. And then lastly, I picked up a green tea bread.
Yes, that sounds excellent.
With a red bean filling. So I'm just gonna get it here. I think I finally figured out the day to go to the market, and it's Sunday.
Okay. Maybe that's when everything is shipped fresh.
Yeah, that's when they restock everything. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, this bread smells really freaking good. I wanted to save it so I could do like a cool bread pull. Oh shit.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Ooh, that looks so good.
Speaking of looking good, I sent you an image of this this ramen.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna put half of this in here. And I'm gonna take out my Zen so I can actually try these. Do this part. Okay.
Oh yeah, you don't want to waste that.
Yeah. I'll be back. I like this bread a lot because the green tea flavor is very mild.
Yeah.
Some of them are like over the top, but this is very nice. I haven't gotten really any red bean yet.
Green tea is one of the few flavors that I like that I also prefer to be pretty mild.
The red bean is also really good. Yay. Happy. Okay.
We get some soup steam in here.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that broth is pretty good. I would say it's just tonkatsu broth. I'm not getting a lot of seafood unless they think that's what scallions taste like.
Yeah. A lot of the seafood ones I get are not seafood.
I enjoy also your mic has pretty good noise cancellation. Oh no, you can hear the bag, but your voice drops like a full octave when you're opening stuff and then slowly picks back up.
Alright, I'm just gonna have to do it this way. They smell very tomatoey.
They look, I mean, I guess I'm used to the American look of a chip, so they look pretty plain from here.
Yeah, they're pretty plain looking.
Mm-hmm.
This tastes like Campbell's tomato soup.
Okay, I would take that in a chip.
It's pretty good.
That sounds like a really good chip to have for making a casserole.
Yeah, I could see that being really good. Dang. This does it again.
Thank you. Thank you, corporate snacks.
I'm pretty happy with my corporate snacks. And
Yeah.
my green bread.
My corporate bread is my corporate bread and corporate soup both doing pretty good over here.
Look at the color. That's nice. And it's got some good squish.
That's always my worry with those that are bagged like that, is every once in a while you get one that's like not at all fresh, or at least doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. This one has even been sitting around for like a day, so it must have been pretty squishy.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'd say the Asian snacks continue to be where the quality is hidden.
I think that's gonna be the thing forever.
Yep. It's almost like the snacks that we get over here are designed to make money only.
It's almost like that.
It's almost like that.
And slowly kill you. But, I mean, I'm sure all snacks are doing that a little bit. That's why we like them.
All food is poison. That's just how good the poison is.
That is true.
Oh yeah, being able to taste this completely is much better.
What's the full flavor profile?
Now that I can taste more than just the rice, it is sort of a nice, like, sweet. It almost tastes like if you were to make rosé with wine, or rosé with rice. I'm not all the way there.
I love making rosé with wine.
I fucking love making it that way. Most people don't try it.
When I make rosé, I do make it with wine.
Ooh, I have just been handed another snack. A quinoa crunch chocolate.
Ooh.
I look forward to busting into that in the not too distant future.
That sounds pretty good. I'm hearing some pretty, like, angry cat sounds right now.
Yeah, there's a sort of cat / Jabba the Hutt that slides across the floor and whines at people when it doesn't have the food that it would like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're going to hear a little bit of that, and then you're going to, if you listen real close in a second here, you're going to hear what sounds like somebody rifling through a trash cans full of, like, old tuna lids, because that's how it eats. It just lays on the floor, just fully lays on the floor and dips its face into the bowl, and then the bowl kind of vibrates, and then the food's gone.
That's how I like to eat.
That's how I eat when I'm not on camera. It's actually pretty tough to deal with all these utensils and shit.
That's why you gotta be out by tomorrow.
Excuse me?
How are those noodles, like, soba-y?
Yeah, kind of.
They kind of look a little different.
They're a little thicker than a ramen noodle. They were a different kind of pack, too, when they were in there. I think they're supposed to be soba, but they're still, cheaply done. So they're close to a ramen noodle.
I love instant ramen. I picked up 2 new kinds at the Asian market last time I went, and one of them is like black bean noodles.
That sounds good.
It's decent. It's like a little less flavorful than I was anticipating. I've never had like actual black bean noodles, but
I haven't either.
It's more of like a stir fry kind of flavor than anything, and you really cook it down a lot. So there's no real broth or anything. And then the other one I got is the Bulldog, like spicy chicken flavor ramen, but it comes with a packet of cheese powder that you mix in.
All right.
And that's good.
That sounds thick and nap-inducing.
Yeah, especially when you put extra cheese on top and put enoki mushrooms and then mix that in with the cheese and then just do it all up like that.
Speaking of extra cheese, please enjoy your Wednesday.
What?
Don't worry, you'll forget about this before anything happens.
I don't like that. You'll forget about this before anything happens. Okay. Historically, that process has not led to good things happening for me, but
when I'm sick, sometimes things happen, and don't.
What did you do?
Don't hold me accountable for that.
I mean, if it's cheese related, I'll probably be fine with it. Probably definitely be fine with it. Wow, this stuff is so good, and I feel like I'm already drunk.
As we determined, soju, prime stuff.
That's why I, like, when I was going through my snacks to figure out what to have today, I was like, bread seems like a good
Yep.
a good counterbalance for this soju that I'm about to pound, probably.
That's not completely devoid of the reason why I had bread with this soup, because this is the first time I've eaten today. It's like 6 o'clock here right now. Probably not the way you should do it, but I knew I needed some sort of base.
It is a way to do it.
It's a way I do it. As with most times, given that I have 2 examples in the last few months, apparently the best weight loss program is just to get sick.
Yeah.
Just get real sick and tired and take care of it.
Actually, if were it not for the taste and smell loss, I would highly recommend COVID as a counterbalance to going on a vacation in which the primary object is to just eat like shit for 5 days. I mean,
we still got to do that.
Yeah, and I lost weight doing it.
It's amazing. Now I know how those people who took fucking amphetamines forever felt. Good.
Yeah. Well, who knew?
Yeah. Well, that actually kind of brings up one of my topics, which is efficacy. Now, as of yesterday, I've been getting notices from people who have been getting their booster shots now that they're available. You should go do that. Anybody who's watching this, I think the signups are usually a week out. It seems very worth it because I'm pretty sure the stats I heard last were like somewhere in the like 40% range of like the efficacy against the current strains without the booster. So maybe go re-up if you can.
Yeah, that sounds worth it.
Yeah. While I'm still in Seattle, I might try to do that because I'm pretty close to like QFC that'll do it, stuff like that.
I guarantee it's going to be a lot easier to get done when you're there. So.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Because I don't think they're even doing the like the drive-through vaccination things anymore.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen those been going on as much, but I could be wrong.
Huh. Well, that's hey, that's Idaho.
Yeah, it is. Alternate universe Idaho.
Yeah. that state, there's a few states like that, but that state is an alternate universe as I'm learning more and more about it.
Yes. Yes, it is. Sometimes in good ways and sometimes in ways that kill you instead.
Sometimes in concerning ways, yeah.
Yeah.
good to know that alternate universe has drifted into Western Washington over the years too. I assume it was already there, honestly, but Western Washington. What did they have happen recently? They had like oh, that's right. They had a guy go and murder his daughter's ex, who was in the process of selling her into sex slavery actively, and then they just discovered the body a year later, I think. So he's been on trial. That's a Spokane thing, I think. Very Spokane.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty Spokane vibes, but I'm surprised I haven't heard of that at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Lots of fun in Western Washington.
Yeah, there are occasionally some really spooky kind of small town stories. Spokane's not super small, but like Idaho and Western Washington get some really fucked up small town shit. Like the shoot, what's her name? Lori something with the two kids that went missing, and she was like kind of in a cult. Lori and Chad Daybell, that's their names.
Yeah, Daybell, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Hometown Heroes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I drove through that city and saw like in memoriam signs for the kids.
Yeah.
But anyway. I wonder when that trial is happening.
I don't know. I don't really have a good concept of how far out trials are, because our friends out here that work with legal stuff are just now doing actions against like the opioid industry and stuff. So like,
oh wow,
those timelines are crazy.
That's not great.
Yeah.
It's been a fun week for trials, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, this is also a topic that I kind of have somewhat checked out of because so I don't know that I have a whole lot of insight to offer on the Rittenhouse case, which is what I'm referring to for anyone who doesn't know what's going on. But yeah.
I mean, it's just good to know that you can be white and do everything wrong and still get off scot-free after murders. It's important, you know? Yeah.
Kind of how I assumed it was always going to go.
Yeah. I didn't check in on the final rulings even. I just saw what was coming in and I was like, no thank you.
The whole, so much of it just seemed like a complete shit show. Like, I have not looked into really the timeline exactly of what happened, but just, God, like in that kind of situation with so many people out and like people being individual actors for their own like little militias or whatever the fuck, like, everything, it makes sense when it goes to shit real fast.
Look, we just got to get Bundy into office, and that's going to take care of it. Oh, hey, election news. If you're listening to this and you're in the Seattle area, don't forget about the weird timed, very tactical emergency election thing on December 7th. When people vote to whether or not they're going to oust Sawant. Which, like, for anybody who doesn't know who that is, that's the politician in Seattle who is, like, one of the only, I think the only, like, socialist / communist, like, out politician of that level, but also, the reason why there's any Amazon taxing, even though they overturned the Amazon tax that they yell about, and the reason why people are talking about or have minimum wage increases at all in the last few years. I want to say they got into office in 2013-ish. And like, Sawant's been like the linchpin of all that stuff, and the person like kind of getting attacked in Seattle since then. And they're having an emergency election to try and pull her out of office. That was supposed to be with the general elections, and then they just decided not to like essentially file paperwork so that they could do it when no one knows the election is happening on December 7th. And people should really vote to keep her in office, as opposed to let these weird Seattle Republicans, which, against what a lot of people think, like conservative ideals are kind of the mainstay in Seattle beyond the like recognizable face. So like what I got some stuff here from who is running this attack campaign. The main person or the biggest donor is named George Petrie, who I guess is the biggest donor for, or no, not the biggest donor. The person running and setting up programs for this is the biggest donor in Washington to the Trump campaign. And they're also the landlord for the ICE locations in this area, which is a cool extra thing.
Cool.
And between them and a place called Vulcan Real Estate, which is about as cool as it sounds, they spent millions on this campaign to take Sawant out of office. Also found out through this and Seattle Commies that other places that have donated, or other people who have donated giant amounts or maxed out their donation amounts to this campaign, is a set of CEOs from Amazon with two real weird job titles. So if people want to think about what Amazon's doing, this might help. The CEO of Global Real Estate maxed out their their campaign contribution, and so did the CEO of Charter Schools, both for Amazon. Those aren't things Amazon should be having CEOs of. That seems bad.
God.
Also
CEO for schools.
Also the Nordstrom family, which is exciting because I believe we did their Christmas cards at my last job.
Yay!
Hey, thanks Nordstrom family.
Oh God.
Anyway, it's notable that Seattle is using Republican tactics of like they did with the flushing out the carbon tax a couple years ago, and primarily from Republican donors. So people who want to talk about Seattle being a burning communist wreck should probably look into who actually runs all of our politics here.
Yeah.
That with the segment while you were gone last podcast talking about our new, like, super into cops mayor that just got elected.
Yay.
Yeah, to replace the mayor that was super into cops and gassing people. Yay!
Great.
Hate to leave this city. What a beautiful place. You know? We also.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of opportunity here, you know?
As I was telling people when they were asking about my thoughts on Idaho, especially Boise, yeah, there's a lot of terrible shit, but you really get a sense that the people who are left-leaning in Idaho are meaning it, and the people who aren't are just sort of the norm. And I am actually much more comfortable with that kind of like set of stakes where you can work towards something with people who are willing to be on that side, as opposed to Seattle, where the primary like day-to-day opponents of things like protecting unions, like better wages, environmental change, the people who are against that stuff are like the like well-to-do gay community and the like a lot of like people who are like wage workers and stuff, like people you wouldn't expect to be like into that stuff are centrist here because there's no like on the surface animosity that's actually like towards conservatives, because everybody thinks that that's just like something that happens somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, we are the somewhere else, so
yep.
It is. Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying about the stakes being a little more visible, and like it feels like there's more that you can directly do here
Right.
than in a place like Seattle, which I mean you can do anything anywhere, but
and should.
I think and should, but yeah, I think Boise is has a lot of potential to be turned much more left, just because there's a lot of people. I mean, Idaho is pretty poor anyway,
Yeah.
so I feel like there's already kind of like that grievance and that awareness of like things are shitty. We should do something about it. They just don't really have the guidance, or they're not really. They've been misled as to who is to blame for that.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah, the casualness that conservatives in that area talk about, like the wildest shit, is shocking at first, but also like I understand it more, and I feel like there's room to talk about it and like have that conversation there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always get that here. Like it's a lot of people who are like left leaning, and then a lot of people who are in the middle who just, I don't want anything to change. It's too tenuous. I don't want anything different.
Yeah, I feel like especially in a place like Seattle, you have either people who are pretty like neo-lib or centrist, and then people who are like pretty far left, and then to compensate for it being more left, you will have like some really hardcore right people whose minds you're like really not changing.
Yeah.
But out here, I feel like there are people who are open to new things, which is cool.
Yeah. And the really hardcore conservative people out here are currently building monuments to their amazing accomplishments. So that's also
yeah. And we totally have those too.
Yeah.
But they're pretty identifiable.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're pretty out and proud, so it's not. Yeah, it's a kind of like a little microcosm of these different things, but
yeah,
I feel like especially since Boise is growing so fast and like rapidly, so many people are moving here, and the cost of living is going up super fast, and people are getting displaced already from like downtown and shit. Like, I think it's a really good place to have these conversations.
Yeah,
people are going to be more willing to listen.
Well, I think a lot of people are starting to look at Boise as a place that needs to be talked about a little more, like just nationally, which is also an interesting place to be.
Yeah, we're not just the other I-state. We're not just the. I've had conversations. I don't have a whole lot of Idaho pride, but this does bug me. I've had a couple of conversations with people who will ask me where I'm from, and I'll say Idaho, and they're like, "Oh, you mean Illinois?" And I'm like, "No, I did not fuck up the state that I'm from just now because you're only aware of one I-state." Like,
Look,
I understand.
You just need to know that Boise, Iowa is on the way up.
Yeah. Boy, I forgot about Iowa. Sorry, Iowa. The I-states are so easily forgotten. Even though Illinois and Iowa are pretty more important. Whatever. It's fine.
You guys got potatoes, and as people have screamed at me many times now, trout.
Trout, catfish, which can be purposed as eel in a pinch.
Eel. Yeah.
Yeah, the eel of the inner waters is what how we like to call it.
Finally, somebody's taken that nickname from me.
And it was good, actually.
Yes, I would eat it again.
Yeah, it was good. Man, maybe actually we need to do some more investigating into the landlocked fish sushi department, because I think there is potential there. I understand the potential for, disease, but also,
hey,
I want to try it.
I'm okay for that. I'll get food poisoning. I don't have a problem with that. I don't want it, but I'll deal with it. You know what? You convinced me. I'm gonna get boots on the ground. We're gonna have to scour the inland sushi market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're gonna buy another personal carrier, and we're gonna drive it to all of the sushi places.
Yeah. Oh, also, this is a good idea, because I have found through TikTok this tea
Fascism?
you can get but also this green tea you can get at the Asian market, and I did, that basically just makes you shit for like 2 days immediately. And so if you ever make like food mistakes and just need it gone, like really fast.
Why are you?
I'm just saying.
God damn, I gotta shit my pants tonight.
It's not always like that. It just speeds up the healing process.
Yeah, it's not always like that. I just need to have 2 days of healing uneducated.
2 days is an exaggeration. 1 day is usually how it goes. But I'm just saying, it's a cure-all for food woes.
Yeah. Maybe you're not the best contestant to get onto the moment of truth.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think I would do great.
Fucking Mark Wahlberg's gonna be sitting there like, do you take tea to shit your pants? Great.
I'd be like, yes, next question.
Yeah, buddy. Next question.
Everyone on my couch would just be like, oh my god, please just lie about something so this can be done. I have no shame.
Yeah, I immediately changed my mind. You're the perfect contestant.
Thanks. I feel like the first 10,000 is pretty easy. I could walk away with at least 25,000. After that, it might get a little dicey.
I think you could get to 25,000. I think I could get to 10,000. I'm not like too worried about most of those, but if you got a job that you want to keep, don't even go on that show, because your job is over.
Yeah. God. I think as a freelancer, that would be pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because the questions would be like, how many times have you jerked off on the job and charged someone an hour of work? Yeah.
Like all the time, Mark.
All the time. Yeah, I'd lose clients, but it would be funny.
I got needs, Mark.
Listen, you can only do so many PowerPoints.
Yeah. You gotta stay awake somehow. That's all I'm saying.
I think I got to like episode 10, and the last what it was the maybe it wasn't 10, it might have been before that, but the last one I watched was the one with the couple, and the guy was like the redhead husband and the wife, who they were like, she's evil.
Uh-huh. Is that one of the Mormon couples? Because those ones
Yeah.
always... The Mormon couples are like... The scandalous stuff that they talk about is just nothing. Like, every once in a while it's pretty good, but like some of the questions that are just like, would you stay with your husband if he denounced the Mormon faith? It's like, who gives a shit? Like,
that one was actually kind of funny because she was like, no. And he was like, okay, I would, but all right, that's fine. That poor guy, the whole time, he was just like, he was so not into it. From the first question, he was like, every time they would pan back to him for a reaction, he was like, whatever. So defeated.
there was one, there's like a woman, I think this is like in the first 10 episodes. I've only watched through season 1, but I've seen bits of the second season. If we watch the second season before the next podcast, that is where the wild shit is.
Oh, really?
And then the third season never aired, and my understanding is things go real off the rails in that one.
I have to have access to the third season somehow.
I believe I have, if I have not sent to you the season that's like the third season stuff, I believe I have access to it. So I will figure that out.
I need that. I like... I know I watched clips of this when you were first telling me about it, but the one where they were like, she ruins her marriage.
Yeah.
That one was pretty funny because they started it off with a very gimmicky, like, we weren't even gonna air this. And the host is even like, this is way over my line. I would never do any of this, but you know, the network said we're gonna do it, so we're doing it.
The host, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, the host, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Important to remember that.
Mm-hmm. Pretty funny.
The episode I was thinking of, she's like, I forget what she does, like for a job or anything, but she has her mom, her stepdad, her sister, and like her husband. And like some of the episodes, almost every question is about the husband for like 10 questions. And the questions are just like, do you think he's gross? It's like, if you're hearing this and think Moment of Truth sounds like trash, yeah. But also, it's the best show ever. And now that I've seen some people win, it's even weirder, like how far they go in like the second season for the bits that I've seen. Because like a lot of this stuff is just like life ruining in like the episodes they get to. Like, I think I saw like an update episode, like they were doing an episode, but they had updates, I think, instead of a second contestant. And the updates were just like, they got fired is like the first update for every person. And then most of the updates are like, they're not seeing each other anymore. But they said they were going to, but they couldn't.
Yeah, I think the first 10 episodes that I've seen are pretty tame in the updates so far. Like, they'll basically just say, oh yeah, this couple is working on healing their differences now that they found out that this dude has slept with all of her friends. Like that. Oh, but my fucking favorite part of everything I've seen so far is I think it's another Mormon family, where the husband is the one answering the questions, and then it's the wife and his mom, I think.
That sounds like a setup they would have.
Yeah, and one of her sisters, and then one other random dude who's his friend. And the whole time his friend is just like, hell yeah, dude. He's answering these ridiculous questions about just basically having a lot of sex before he was married. And his friend is like, yeah, get it. And the sister and the mom and the wife are just like devastated.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But that's the one where the guy dated like 2 of her sisters before dating her and marrying her.
Is that the one where they asked, do you think she's the like most attractive sister or something?
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, like all of these questions are clearly, because there's one specifically that they say is from the wife, but a lot of them are clearly just born out of the fact that they very obviously have a deeply insecure relationship.
Yeah.
And he also admits to like sleeping with one of his friends' wives or something.
Yeah,
but all of his questions are basically like bashing his wife, saying, yeah, she's not that hot compared to her sisters. Yeah, I've been cheating on her. Yeah, it's with one of our friends. And then they do the update. And I think he did end up winning like $25,000 or something.
Yeah, of course.
And they did the update, and it's like, Tony and Cheryl are working on mending their differences. Also, he bought her breast implants. It was so good. I'm like, oh my god, that poor woman. She's so sad. She's gotta be so sad.
3 things that I always yell. This is like one of the very few shows where I'm like talking at the television. One thing is cut and run. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
2 is, oh yeah, they ruined their life. I love to yell that. And then another one is definitely the like, this marriage is over. Like, this has to be done. They almost always get people who are married too, which is the worst. They're often married and they're often like 22. It's just like, oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah, there was one guy. Oh, I guess he wasn't married. It was just his girlfriend. But they asked him a question about like keeping a spreadsheet of all the women he'd slept with.
That's one of my favorite episodes of those early episodes, because
really
that guy is like, the questioning just goes from like, are you like just generally sort of a toxic dude, up into like, that's the guy who is like doing like sex work to get through college or to augment college, and he's like answering these questions in front of his parents. Also, he doesn't seem to care, which is the only way to be. He like, I think he has the question of like, have you slept with, or do you believe you've slept with over 100 women?
He knows because of the spreadsheet.
Yeah, he has a spreadsheet. His friend who is there has seen the spreadsheet, which is also amazing. And his friend's like, I mean, it's well put together.
I love that. He's like, it's very organized.
Like, he literally has
like 6 columns in that bitch.
He literally has binders of women. And they, I think they ask him if he'll tell them what the categories are, and he's like,
nah. And the girlfriend's like, am I on there? And he's like, yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was a really funny one too. Because the dad in that one is also like, it pans to the dad when they ask the question, have you slept with more than 100 people? And the dad's just like, nice.
Oh, good.
Mom and girlfriend are like crying. Oh, that one was really good.
I think a prerequisite to doing family therapy, if you do that, should be watching this whole show first.
Yeah, probably. But they have to, like, there must be some sort of research or reconnaissance they do on these people, because all of these married couples seem like they have never had a meaningful conversation with each other at all.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stuff that that one, like the redhead dude and his hot wife who doesn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's one question, like, has she slept with a married man before? And he's like, no, she would never do that. And I'm like, dude, your wife would totally do that. Do you see what's happening in front of you?
You're not even, like, pre-questions. Like, you know she would do that at this point.
I don't think I even saw the end of that one, because that's the one where they're like, have you ever fantasized about your best friend? And she's like, well, yeah, she's hot. And the dad is devastated, or the husband.
The best friend doesn't look jazzed about it either.
No, she's very, like...
Yeah. Like, there's not even really much else about the friend in that episode, if I remember. It's like they just brought her in to be like, oh.
I was hoping that would kind of go somewhere. I was hoping it would be like a secret love affair, because...
Me too. That would have been so much better than just ragging on the husband exclusively, because then you could have, like, you know, the two people on the couch while you're doing this whole thing. Yeah,
that would have been nice, but that poor husband seemed just, like, pretty checked out.
It's basically modern Colosseum battles, but the death is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what... Actually, I was thinking about this. Like, I don't think you can have this show today, because people are just a little bit more shameless. Like, people don't really care as much. I mean, especially because the questions they're asking here are pretty... They're like, have you ever fantasized about your best friend? And, like, pretty milquetoast shit. But even when it comes to, like, the affair stuff, I feel like that wouldn't... People would just be like, yeah.
This show could exist now, but there'd be a lot more high fives and a lot less crying.
Yeah, or it would just be like, oh god, I'm trying to imagine this in, like, a Gen Z, how Gen Z would do it. God, I don't even know what that would be. Maybe they would bring up, like, did you used to run this horrific Tumblr back in 2014 or something?
Yeah, did you make this post in 2007?
It's just scrolling back through people's Twitters trying to get them canceled. Actually, that would be pretty funny.
Did you put up this horny post about the guy from Blue's Clues in 2003?
Did you tweet this about wanting to fuck Mr. Rogers? Was that you? Come on. That would be pretty good, actually. They should turn that into a game show, because, just like, I'm surprised, actually, that there hasn't been some, like, weird conservative game show where they're like, we're gonna cancel you, like they do to us all the time. We're gonna go through your social media and do, like, 2 truths and a lie with these shit posts or something.
Yeah, they could even start off the episode with, like, don't get canceled, and like bring in the board full of questions and stuff like that. Yeah, that would totally work.
Would be good.
I'd watch that too.
Yeah, I would watch that all day long.
They could probably get the other Mark Wahlberg to host it at this point.
Yeah, probably, since he's been canceled.
Yeah.
Was it him, or was it... I don't know why I always mix up Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon. They're like the same person to me.
Well, ever since The Departed, where they had Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon, and the third one of those guys... Leonardo DiCaprio. They're all in the same movie. Mm. They're all the same person. Like, whatever.
DiCaprio I can differentiate just because of Great Gatsby, which is a terrible reason, but that's why.
Yeah, that is a terrible reason. But the reason I can differentiate Leonardo DiCaprio is mostly because he's the only one who's gotten a direct death threat from Jeff Bezos.
Speaking of direct death threat. Oh, wait, I guess this isn't a death threat. Never mind. And it's not a death threat, but did you see Elon Musk's response to Bernie on Twitter the other day?
Oh, what was it?
It was like clearly just a standard some intern is running the Bernie Sanders Twitter account.
Yeah.
Tweeted like there should be no billionaires or something like that. And Elon Musk just responds, you're still alive? Question mark.
Yeah.
Which is more funny than anything else. I don't know why my brain translated that into being a death threat, but it was just really funny.
I mean, it's a irrelevancy threat, I guess.
It's like, okay, Elon.
Yeah.
That's what he has to do to stay relevant, is make dumb Twitter shit posts.
Yeah, unfortunately, his audience is exactly the audience that works for. So he can talk about Bitcoin monkeys and fucking feeding the poor in a way that he would never do / is unrealistic / everything else he does on there.
Yeah, I mean, I also just love the idea of even engaging with a Bernie Sanders account tweet as if it's something that Bernie Sanders wrote. Like, are you kidding me?
Like, you'd have better luck engaging with a Sonic the Hedgehog tweet.
That would be more fun.
Yeah.
And you might be talking to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
You're not talking to Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders is in, like, his dirt-floored, like, estate somewhere.
Yeah.
Doing, I don't know, making soup. Being angry, making soup.
Just angrily stirring a pot of soup. That checks out. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's angry soup stirring season.
Yeah, it's angry soup stirring season, and it's like climate change denial season again. I've really felt that stacking back up. Every time it's not hot anymore, everybody's like, good thing we don't have to think about that ever again.
Yeah.
People are really fucking stupid. That's what I'm saying.
It's a very cyclical thing. It just like when the wildfires break out and it's actually apocalyptic, that's when we're like, oh.
Yep.
Oh, maybe there's a problem. But there was frost on my car this morning, so climate change not real.
Yeah. My door was kind of frosted shut, so good thing we fixed it.
If climate change is real, how come I have Raynaud syndrome? Huh? Explain that.
God bless America. You know what I mean?
Why are my fingers cold?
Why do I want to get gloves if it's global warming?
Why am I so cozy inside?
I mean, I've had personal global warming for the last week, so I didn't notice any of those effects.
I'm curious, actually. So since I had COVID, my like body temperature regulation just does not fucking work. Like I have never been. I've always been a perpetually cold person.
Yeah.
Since I had COVID, I wake up all the time in the middle of the night, just like, I need everything off of me right now or else I'm going to die. Like, that kind of just getting really hot, and it's never happened to me. I don't know, maybe I'm...
That is the way I've lived my entire life. So it's interesting hearing somebody transition.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yes.
It sucks, and I really would have liked the COVID to maybe balance out the coldness, but instead I've gone to the complete other side, and I feel like I'm going through like menopause or something, Where I'm just like,
we don't know everything about COVID yet.
I mean, if COVID does instigates like early menopause, then fine. I'm sure, whatever.
Get it over with quick.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm mentally there.
Hey, that's the best place to be.
Mentally menopaused.
Yeah. You just got to time your hot flashes with when you're outside and it's too cold.
That would be nice. Wish I could do that. I've been occasionally trying to like Wim Hof things, and when I am cold,
yeah,
just like I'm gonna mind over matter this, and it works for about 5 minutes, and then I'm like, nah.
Speaking of Wim Hof, we got to do it. We got to watch that fucking Goop Sex show this week.
Yeah, we do. Is it already out?
I believe it is out.
Okay. Yeah, actually, there's a lot on Netflix. That is one of my topics. There's a lot going on Netflix that's been pretty exciting lately.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of Netflix topicing. What have you been seeing?
So I started the League of Legends show, Arcane.
Arcane, yeah.
Yeah. I did not get very far into it yet. But it's interesting.
It looks well produced, but like I don't know if I care enough about those characters.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like I just having watched like the first episode and a half, I still feel like unless you know the characters, you're probably not going to give too much of a shit. But
right.
the animation style is pretty interesting, and I have been wanting them to do a TV show for a while because the cinematics that they put out are really well done and cool.
Yeah.
It's
been really good for like little stuff. So
yeah, it's good so far, but I haven't gotten to the point in the show when like the characters are older and like the actual characters they are in the game. So I'm still just kind of trudging through the backstory.
Yeah,
which is not super exciting to me, but it's fine. It's kind of interesting. It's cool that they finally did it, I guess.
Yeah, I might jump in and see if that's any good. I just I didn't have a lot of draw towards it, and I watched some fucking garbage in the meantime, so I could use a switch to something that's well produced.
It's a good just kind of like change of pace. There was one day recently when I was just like looking for something to have in the background while I worked, and so I put on Arcane for a little bit and got tired of it in like the first 10 minutes. And then I switched to there's a new like true crime documentary series, Catching Killers, on Netflix, which I also only got like 10 minutes into because this is just the first episode, so I could be wrong, but it's just like hardcore propaganda.
Okay. And I was excited for a second, but if that's what they're doing, that sucks.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about it because it's been a while since there's been a new like crime docuseries or whatever on Netflix that I was interested in seeing. But like at least the model that they're doing for the first episode is like talking to investigators who worked on the case, which is fine and a necessary part of telling the story.
If you're Paul Holes or an investigator along those lines, maybe. But
sure. I mean, I don't mind a cameo from an investigator talking about doing the case. Like, sure, that's fine. That's part of it. But at the beginning of, I think it's the first episode is on the Green River Killer, which I was also excited about because like Washington, I know this. And they're just focusing on one investigator. Can't remember his name. He's super old now. But
he's an investigator, so his name is probably like Dick Frunches or something.
Yeah, something like that. And they like started off by kind of like switching between old TV broadcasts that he was in. saying, like, directly talking to the killer, like, oh, you need to, like, turn yourself in, and then him talking now about the case, which was kind of cool. But in the first 15-20 minutes of the episode, it like started pretty slow and felt like it was more of them interviewing the guy about how he felt about the case as opposed to like talking about it, because they got to the part where they initially found like 3 bodies in the river and didn't really talk about who it was or like the victims, and then like immediately went back to, so when you go home at night, did you like talk to your wife about the job, or was it like really hard and on your brain and you didn't want to share things? And he was like, well, you know, as cops, we're just like we're the first front against all that's evil in the world, so we can't subject my wife's small brain to that. And
as we found out, women can't handle true crime. It's true.
They don't like it.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're not all weird, psychopathic true crime type thing.
No. If there's anything we know about women, it's that I don't know, they like hot chip and not true crime.
Yeah.
That was basically kind of what made me turn it off at that point. I was like, okay, I have zero interest in hearing this cop talk about how he is the like moral authority of the area, and he's the first defense against all the evils in the world, and that's why cops are good.
Did you get any talk about like, oh, we think he was a 30-something white male individual, like any of that stuff? Because cop talk is one of my favorite like weird things that they do.
Yeah, I'm sure that he did a little bit of that. I should give it more of a chance and sit through it, because as I was like turning it off, they were shifting to interviewing a woman who was working on the case, and she was like, what was her background? She was like a former sex worker. She was black, and she was from like a poor background, so her story was a little more interesting, having her perspective on like the Green River killer who killed a bunch of sex workers. So that was a little that was I'm more willing to listen to that, but
hopefully that doesn't go in the direction of propaganda either, because it seems like it could.
I definitely would not be surprised if that's where that was going, but I was just like, I'm not into it.
Is it recent enough where they could talk to, or not talk to, but talk about like Gary Zodiac or one of those like more recent things?
I don't actually. I'm curious. I'll look up and see what they cover, because I think there's only like 4 or 6 episodes out right now.
Okay.
And they cover like a different killer. Oh, other thing. So it's called Catching Killers, which boring. But the intro animation is you're following a red string being attached to pins on a board. And then it zooms out and it says Catching Killers.
All right.
Okay.
Somebody got out of art school and went, I got an idea.
I know how it works. Okay, this is also kind of the killers they cover are also a little bit boring. So Green River Killers, the first episode. Eileen Wuornos, second.
Okay.
Which like I'll watch it, but there's been so much on Eileen.
Yeah.
And the Happy Face Killer, which I'm not as
also like a sort of interesting, but also very oversaturated.
Yeah, well, she gets. I think it's the whole like, she's a woman and she's a serial killer. I didn't know women could serial kill. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stupid shock factor. But and I don't know. I haven't watched enough of it to like recommend or not recommend, but pretty serious, like yay cops kind of stuff going on.
Good note going into it. I had a long sick night, mostly unsick at this point, with Disney Plus garbage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sort of mostly the opposite take on what you're talking about, but not entirely. So I'll start with the boring stuff. I watched, well, it's all somewhat interesting. So the most boring thing is I watched all of a like 20-minute special about Toy Story and Hawaii. So it's like a Toy Story that is about Hawaii, like a Hawaiian vacation. Long story short, Barbie and Ken wanted to go to Hawaii, and all the other toys are like, what, you think they're really going to take us to Hawaii, you dumb fucks? And then they make the room into a Hawaii, and then Barbie and Ken have a romantic weekend. Now, if that sounds boring, it is. And also, like, in similar vein to, I then watched like a random like 20 minutes in the middle of that Jungle Cruise movie with The Rock. What it's him and the lady who played Mary Poppins.
Emily Blunt.
Yeah. So the thing that I realized in both of those movies, or that movie and that short, is I can't think of a single audience for those at all. Like in the Jungle Cruise stuff, I went to the middle. So I was an hour into a 2-hour movie. And what happened is Emily Blunt's character was looking through The Rock's captain quarters, found a map that was similar to the map she was using to find whatever the treasure or whatever is. He comes down and catches her, and she's like, you are using us to get the treasure. And he's like, no, I got a big stack of maps. I was looking for it a long time ago. Like, give it up. And then they get shot. Everybody on the boat, supposedly, gets shot in the neck or wherever with darts, and they fall over. And there's, like, stereotypical native people of the Amazon there from, like, you know, like you would see in an old racist Disney ride or something.
Sure.
They wake up and they're in like a like big mask and feathers wearing crowd of people at like a throne with a person in it, and they're asking them about stuff and saying like, you know, whatever. None of that's important. It ends up the people who are there are working with The Rock's character to trick the other people into giving up on the treasure hunting. Now, over the course of this 20 minutes, all I know about this movie is that not a single interesting or funny thing has happened in 20 minutes. And, like, it's only 2 hours. Like, if you have a 20-minute chunk of something where nothing happens, like, that's not a good sign for your movie.
Yeah.
And also, like, it looks like a lot of things I've seen lately, it looks like about the quality of a stage play, which is just not, like, if you're going to make something that is based on how it looks, like most of Disney stuff, I don't know why you're doing Jungle Cruise. It feels like it was just designed to, like, pay The Rock for some sort of dark deal they did. Or potentially some dark deal he did to now be like Disney's weird like acting like go-to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's bad. That movie seems terrible. I then watched all of Shang-Chi, the 10 Rings movie that came out. And like I can't do a full breakdown of the movie because there's not really much of anything that happens. The summary is, if you know the character, then there's not much to explain. Otherwise, the most notable things are, so this guy runs away from home because he's born to, like, what is essentially a crouching tiger, martial arts sage, and then also a weird immortal assassin man. And he runs away from home because the sage mom dies and the assassin man goes back to being an assassin man. And he's basically like, they give him the role of being like both Genghis Khan and like sort of a weird like Hitlerish character or whatever. Or at least somebody who's like way into conquest. And the son runs away because they're going to send him when he's 14 to go assassinate the guy who killed his mom. From that point, like, that's the mid-movie reveal. The beginning is just him being in, I think it's like LA or San Francisco. I didn't pay attention. He's on the coast. He has like a friend who's played by Awkwafina, and they like do stuff and get attacked on a bus by assassins. Anyway, the point is, this is just a movie about a guy who you find out has like superhuman martial arts or whatever. And then at the end, there's like big, dumb graphics fights with like monsters, and then it's over. No real spoilers in there. But the thing that bothered me the most, because I was like, oh, this is like sort of dumb Disney stuff, but it's not like reprehensible Disney like a lot of things have been. Like, it's definitely much less reprehensible than, say, the Falcon and Winter Soldier series or any number of other stuff. And the fighting was fun. Like, we watched some Jackie Chan stuff recently. That stuff's still fun. But they have a lot of like effects in it. And in the middle, they have this, again, very unnecessary chunk. It's probably like most of the midsection of the movie, which is a 2-hour movie, again, because that's all movies now. And in that middle section, they just focus on like the human qualities of the dad. And the dad is literally like somebody who goes around and like murders people for fun and profit. And that's like his whole character.
But he's a person too.
Yeah, he doesn't do, that's the Disney take. He doesn't do anything that's like important. Like, he doesn't help his family. He doesn't help society. He actively is like abusive towards everyone around him. He's like a terrible, terrible person. In like the level of like, if you were to take things at face value, like a Mussolini-esque, like horrible, like murderer kind of like person. Like, he doesn't have any good ideas or qualities, really. He just had a marriage where he was better for a little while because he had a family, and as soon as that didn't work out the way he wanted exactly, he went back to being the worst person ever. Which is illustrated to be like a total of maybe 10 years, like that was happening. And they spend the entire middle of the movie trying to like convince you that like you should actually be like pretty impressed by this guy and you should feel bad about all this stuff. Like, they had scenes where he was talking to his family and like his son's friend, and they should have had horror music playing in the background because they've established that like he could just go off and kill people at any second. But instead they're playing like the touching music, and he's talking about like, you know, I just loved your mom so much. It's like, this is not like, this is not for anybody. Basically making him into like the like a section of the movie that could be compared to like a fluff piece on like Elon Musk, where people are like, hey, you know, he's a man too. Like, you gotta recognize all the things he likes to do.
He employs so many people.
He keeps things together for so many people.
He does science.
Yeah. And that's not entirely a movie I would say don't watch. Like, there's a lot of things that I think are fine about it. It's a dumb movie. They literally have two dragons fighting for like 15 minutes. It's a dumb movie. Yeah, one of the dragons is like trying to like suck the soul out of another dragon for a while. And that's entertaining.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like fun fights. There is a weird thing though where like it's basically established in the movie that there's like people who are benevolent martial artists who are like guarding a secret, and people who are like ninja, like sort of evil martial artists, but like they're assassin-y people. For some reason, all the assassins have like electrical weapons, and all the other people have like weird red glowy weapons. It's very video gamey. But whenever somebody learns how to fight in the like at one with the earth kind of thing, it's like weirdly sexual. And the first time you see it, it's between the mom and the dad, and you're kind of like, yeah, they're meeting each other. This is meant to be like a weird fuck fighting thing. The next time it happens is between the main character and his aunt, and I even like both the actors, but it is a little uncomfortable when she's like showing him these moves and then like, do you like? It's like, but yeah, I would suggest seeing it if you're like just bored. Like it's a fun movie to watch.
Okay, yeah, I've seen a couple of trailers for it and thought, it looks slightly more interesting than anything else that's happening. Yeah.
That's the exact place to be with it.
That's the level that we're looking for.
Slightly more interesting, and I think we can talk more about this. I watched all of the Star Trek Visions shorts. And I would suggest you watch it too, because it is probably one of the more interesting Star Wars things that's come out. But it's
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Okay.
So they made a Star Wars Visions series, and it's just like outside of canon. Like it's still like it feels like it works in pretty well. There's a really annoying thing where each of these 9 episodes, they clearly had like the direction that like you need to say I have a bad feeling about this in every one. And that like every time it happens, it's just like the studio did not mean to have this in there. They just had to.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is it's 9 anime studios. So it's like it's the Japan-centric look at Star Wars, which, as it turns out, when you make a series based on samurai epics, fits incredibly well. So about half of it is good. Like some of them are really like well done, and about half of it is like kind of trash. But it's totally worth watching, I think.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting, actually. So it's all in like an anime Japanese cartoon style?
Well, it's all, every one of the 9 ones is done by a different studio, I think.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
The first one is like, they used an animation technique, so it all kind of looks like ink wash. And it is literally like a bunch of stormtroopers show up in like sort of samurai gear, and the guy leading them is just like a weird daimyo guy. Like it, and the one of the people who is a force user in it is just like your classic like Ronin looking guy with like the top knot and like the I forget the type of outfit, but like it's not a kimono, but it's like the traveling, like full sleeved looking thing. It's really cool. And like they have at least some of the storylines don't have the like Disney, everybody's great ending. Which I think is important, especially for something like Star Wars that's kind of based on, like, every other movie has, like, sort of a bad ending, but not the worst.
Yeah. I think that would fit really well. But especially the different animation styles was interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
They also, each episode, the beginning episodes are all like 15 or so minutes, and the ending episodes are all like a half hour. And it feels like Disney went in and like cherry picked which people they were going to give a pretty good amount of money to, and which people they were going to give like some money to. Because there are definitely a few of them that are like, this story sucks, but the animation has like a lot of money. And then there's one that like the animation is pretty good, the story's pretty good, but the voice actors are terrible. And like you can see, like, if you're somebody who is like aware of how like commissioned art projects get done, it is really clear that they had like a budget, and that budget was not necessarily the
not
same.
spent on the voice acting.
Yeah.
That makes it almost better, though. I kind of like that.
There's one in particular that's really funny, where it's just like, these people don't sound like they have done any voice acting.
Yeah. I initially kind of got that vibe with Arcane as well, but I think it might just be, I think the voice acting is probably decent and actually probably fine, but I'm just used to hearing like the voice actors associated with the characters in the game. So it just like all sounds wrong to me, but they're supposed to be like 14 right now, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Be wrong.
14-year-olds talk bad.
They do talk bad.
So it's accurate.
Yeah.
I would like you to see that Star Wars series, though, because I think it'd be worth talking about. There is some interesting like story ideas in there, and some really bad ones that would be worth discussing.
I would be definitely into that. And I just found out that I do have a Disney Plus in with my brother.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. I found that out because I texted him the other day and I was like, hey, I want to watch Treasure Planet. And he was like, I want to watch Treasure Planet, and then he gave me the password.
Hey, it's just brave of you to admit that. Is Treasure Planet has is it Michael J. Fox as the head character?
No, that's Atlantis.
I'm sorry?
That's Atlantis.
Oh, he's...
Oh, is it really in Atlantis? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. No, but it's really fun rewatching those because you pick... I actually, like, know who some of the voice actors are. And the, like, weird dog scientist dude is played by... I always forget his real name, but Niles from Frasier.
Oh, yeah. The guy who plays Abe Sapien in Hellboy, I think.
Yeah.
Nerd voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does a really good nerd voice. And it took me a long time to figure it out, but yeah, he does a good job.
Actually, like, somewhat joking aside, I have not seen Treasure Planet in forever. I kind of want to see that, too. That's on there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I rewatched it with Alex because we were wondering how well it held up over time. And I thought it was still, I mean, it's like corny, but it's, of course, it's like for kids. But I thought it still held up pretty well.
I get that mixed up with all the like movies that came out when I didn't know any better. And it's like Treasure Planet, Titan AE, and like something else that are all like kind of in that range.
Yeah, for me, like Treasure Planet and the Atlantis, I don't even know if those came out around the same time. I assume they
probably did. I just remember Atlantis because the key art was done by Mike Mignola, so like it looks really good.
Yeah, I love Atlantis. I think that's a really good. That's a nostalgic one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
2001 was Atlantis, and then Treasure Planet, I think 2002.
Yeah, so real close.
Yeah. They have a very same vibe to me.
That's like real weird middle era Disney with like Hercules and stuff like that.
I really am into middle era Disney.
Hercules also, I think the key art was done by a Jim Mahfood, another like comic and street artist.
Yeah, I think you're right. Lindsay Ellis has a really good video essay on Hercules.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting because I forget the names of like everyone involved, but it was like two animation artists who came to I want to say Eisenberg.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
I forget
like,
his name.
They wanted to make Treasure Planet, but they couldn't sell him on Treasure Planet, and he was like, no, do like something else that's just gonna be a huge commercial success, like no brainer instead. And then they did Hercules, and it fucking flopped.
Yeah.
And then they were like, can we please like Treasure Planet now? There's something like that, but it's funny to know like the backstory of how these things get made.
I don't remember a lot about Hercules, the story of it. I think it has Danny DeVito in it. Is the main character Brendan Fraser? Is that Hercules? Who's Hercules?
I'm gonna look it up because I think you're in the right like
strain
of people.
The right rank of actor.
Yeah. Hercules voice actor. Tate Donovan.
No idea.
I'm also no idea.
Has he been in anything else, or is he just?
He looks familiar. What else? His main credits are Tom Shays in Damages, Jimmy Cooper in The O.C., and Hercules.
Wow. Okay.
I don't...
Man, are you an O.C. fan? You're going to love Hercules.
Yeah, not really. Actually, many other people that I'm familiar with here.
Meg. Was that somebody?
Susan Egan. Also not someone that I know.
Nope.
She's a Broadway actress.
Okay, Danny DeVito, still #1 in that movie.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I looking at... No, this is for the movie. Wait. Okay, this is confusing because there's like... I think it's combining the voice actors for the movie and also for like Broadway, but I want to know specifically the movie. Please hold. Danny DeVito's definitely in it. We know this.
Yeah. I had a similar issue that I'll explain to this cast thing in a minute.
Okay, no, I was right. It is Tate Donovan for Hercules, Susan Egan.
Okay.
James Woods for Hades.
Yeah, James Woods when he was in everything and wasn't out as a weird conservative yet.
And that's about it. Dang, all these voice actors are very old.
Hell yeah. That's an old-ass movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, they look like they would have been old at the time also.
Yeah.
But, hey, I guess that's the talent of voice acting, I
When
guess.
did that movie come out?
97.
It's an old-ass movie.
I know. It's as old as me. That's old.
When did Hunchback of Notre Dame come out? That's another one I put in.
That is a really good one.
That's another mid-range Disney thing.
Yeah. Hunchback.
And I believe that has Danny DeVito in it.
I think you're right.
has Jason Alexander.
Okay. All right.
That's
It's
96.
Jason Alexander. Sorry.
Gotcha. I'm glad we have our fact checkers here in real time.
Yeah, we need fact checking on whether it was Danny DeVito or not.
Not.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. It is Jason Alexander.
Great.
Demi Moore.
Okay. I know that name.
I know. I see her picture. That's about it. I know she's famous. Yeah, nobody else that I know.
All right. Who played the evil guy in that one?
What's his name? Do you remember?
It's probably Cardinal or Bishop.
Oh,
something.
Frollo?
Frollo? Yeah, sure. It's Frollo.
Tony J.
Don't know him either.
No
Yeah,
idea.
don't know any of these people.
Born in 1933.
Born in 1933?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
R.I.P. Tony J.
Yeah, R.I.P. or tell me your secrets.
Yeah. No, he's dead now.
He's gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a similar what the fuck is this casting? So watching all of this Disney stuff turned into like an endurance test, and you know me, and the thing that I ended up watching after Shang-Chi and all of the Star Wars stuff in one night and Toy Story was hey, what's this? It's called The Boogety Man, and it looks like it's from like 80. Like I want to say it's from around like or maybe 90. I don't fucking remember. It doesn't matter. It's old as shit. And the so the storyline, and this is 2 movies, which I didn't know until I tried to look up IMDb on it. The storyline is a family that works. It's a husband, a wife, 2 sons, and a slightly older daughter. And they all run/own like a joke shop that has like fake vomit and like a bunch of really like there's that feeling of stuff that's like old but like from the era of like fake shit and like all that stuff that just feels gross. Like it feels like, why did you make this? Like the best version of that, of just like, this is fine, is like the rubber chicken. Like that's fine, whatever. But like there's so many other like dark corners of that kind of like thing. That's the whole aesthetic of this movie. And they're driving a van that's pulling a Volkswagen Beetle, like a red Volkswagen, I think. But the van is white and has a red Volkswagen painted from all directions on it. But there's people sticking out of the red Volkswagen that are the mascot. And the mascot looks like a weird, nondescript, round-headed person with the tongue sticking out like they're being strangled. And it's just called, like, the Gag Shop. And it's just, like, all over this weird van. And that's, like, your introduction to this family.
Family, great.
Yeah. And they're moving to a house in, like, sort of, like, New England town that's, like, out in the middle of, like, not much else. And it's like a pilgrimy town. And the dad, it's got to be from like 80, between 80 and 90 or something. The dad is like really touchy with all the kids. And when I was looking up like who these people were, the oldest son, like the middle child, is played by who is later the son in that TV show Married with Children.
Okay.
And the oldest kid, the daughter, is, in the first movie at least, is like the person who played Buffy in the first Buffy movie from like the early 90s. And it's a real weird like cast of people who went on to do something. And then I think they almost feel like Second City, like Chicago people, like the casting.
Mm-hmm.
They go out to this house, and there's a ghost haunting it called the Boogety Man, who was a pilgrim who made a deal with the devil, which they show in backstory. But the devil is literally like the red spandex bodysuit with the hood pulled over and like little horns. And he's like looking at the camera going like, ah. Like it's the most like the devil you could get.
Yeah.
And in the backstory, he gives this pilgrim a cloak that makes him invincible. I don't remember why, but the pilgrim's whole deal is that he wants to marry the widow in town who has a son. And he can't, she doesn't like him. And they like go into this house, and then I guess they all died. Like, I don't know what the deal is. So they're all ghosts. But
did he murder them?
I don't remember. It's like really sort of nondescript about like how that stuff works. Like maybe something burned down or something. Anyway, he's called the Boogety Man, and he's trying to get in the house to that's what it is. He kidnapped her son to try and force her to marry him and hid in a house, and I think like they died somehow, and then she died or something like that. And now they're all locked in eternal struggle where he's like kidnapped the son and has him in the house and she's stuck outside.
A great situation.
Yeah. And a lot of like, this man stole this young boy, and then in the modern times thing, the dad is just like real like, how you doing, son? And like grabbing all over him, and like it's uncomfortable in the way that a lot of those old like meant for comedy things are kind of uncomfortable. Like the writing and the characterization of all the stuff is just kind of like, I don't like it. And that first movie is 40 minutes. Like it's incredibly short, and it's clearly made for TV, and the quality of it is made for TV, and there's like, the ghosts are people, but they're like, they look like force ghosts basically. And they defeat the Boogety Man by sucking his cloak up into a vacuum cleaner. The thing that's more interesting is I was like, okay, I recognized, I think, some of the people in this movie, and then went to look up stuff. There's a weird guy in the first one who ended up being played by the guy who originally played Gomez in the old Addams Family, so that was kind of cool. Except in this movie, he had like a big handlebar mustache. Which, Gomez with a big handlebar mustache is a look. And he spends a lot of the movie like yelling at children. And then
that's a vibe.
I was looking up the cast, and it was like, oh yeah, Eugene Levy's in this, and like a bunch of people who are like bit actors and various things. And I was like, I don't remember Eugene Levy. Like, was he in a lot of makeup? And then I did like more digging, and somebody had combined the Boogety Man series into one IMDb. And it turned out Bride of the Boogety Man was also on Disney Plus, but it's a full-length movie, and it's the sequel.
Oh.
So obviously I had to watch that. And that movie sucks even more because it's even longer. And Eugene Levy's in it.
I mean, that piques my interest a little bit.
Yeah. He has like a little thin mustache, and he's the jealous. So now the dad from the first movie everybody in town likes him, and they're declaring him honorary mayor for their like Halloween festival. And Eugene Levy is the normal honorary mayor, and he has a drugstore that has some joke shop stuff in it. So he's upset at the new guy in town. And him being upset leads to him like basically trying to murder people, but everybody's like, ha 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 ha. And then they're like friends with him at the end. They do a really uncomfortable thing throughout the movie, though, where they buy a place to be where they start their joke shop in the new town. And in the back room is a big room that's set up like it's at a carnival with a bunch of wax figures. And like all 10 of these wax figures are obviously just people standing still. And throughout 2/3 of this movie, it's the same people standing still in this wax museum every scene that they're in. And then for like 5 minutes, the I think Eugene Levy maybe turns them all into like actual people, and they walk outside, and then they all turn back to wax and they put them back inside. It's the most effort I've ever seen for like a pseudo joke, not really, like barely a scene that does not pay off at all.
I kind of do. I want to see all the people pretending to be wax figures, though.
There's a lot of, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but there's a lot of like, somebody sits down and there's a wax figure here, and they turn to them and they're like, what do you think about it? Feeling kind of waxy? Like that kind of fucking garbage. And it's just like, that's just a person. Like you can see it on the screen. Like that's not wax. They don't even have like good makeup to like look like wax. They're just people.
That's unfortunate because I feel like waxy feature makeup is
very easy.
Not impossible.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you should, if you, get high and watch the Boogety Man 2, yeah. I guess. That's what I'm saying. Watch the Boogety Man 1, but don't get high for that one yet, because there is a lot of, like, weird, overly touchy, old TV comedy stuff that I don't really love.
Alright, yeah, that sounds like not the recipe for a good time.
Also, the daughter and the youngest son both switch out for the second movie, and I feel like there could be any number of reasons for that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's feels like an endless amount of possibilities for endurance testing on Disney Plus.
There's a lot of garbage. There's way more garbage than there is good stuff. Also, I was told, I don't have any, like, backup for this, that apparently there's, like, the weird late 90s X-Men TV show. They're just making more episodes for it and putting them on Disney Plus in the near future, which seems like a weird choice. I mean, I guess they basically did that with the Clone Wars TV show recently.
Yeah.
They just said, hey,
finish that too. Jeez.
we're gonna make the Bad Batch or whatever and just put it out, and it's more Clone Wars. So
they're just like, we know you'll have this. You'll do it.
We know you want to see more digital Yoda.
Yeah, you'll take it. You will.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. That's fine, I guess. Better than episode 9.
Yeah, the bar very low.
The bar is low. Very, very low on that.
Unfortunately low.
I had a disturbingly long, maybe not as long as our Star Wars pseudo discussion from a little bit ago, but I had a very long discussion about Star Wars the other day that was just kind of like, it's the worst property that I like. And arguing, lightly arguing with somebody that, like, they say they don't like it. I at least will admit that I like it. They say they don't like it, but also, why you know who Luke is then? Like, you kind of, you know a whole lot about it for something you don't like any of. Yeah.
If you know who Luke is, there's some buy-in from you.
Yeah, you spent some time with this for something you
Yeah.
don't like.
that takes a little bit of work.
Also, I was promised Admiral Thrawn content in the Vision series, and there wasn't any. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
Unfortunate. Well, the good news is that it'll never end, and they'll just keep shitting out Star Wars for you.
It'll get worse and worse.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Chewbacca to show up. We got to get to the time travel arc.
I don't want to. It's gonna happen, though. Can you imagine, like, by the end of our lives, what kind of bullshit they're gonna be cranking out for Star Wars?
It's so bad. I bet it's gonna be not that long until they do the time travel back to the Clone Wars to have a third group of people in the Clone Wars, because they can take scenes from the old movies and do what Disney has a huge boner for, and like just put the other characters in there with it, because they fucking
superimpose the dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's super effective and.
They just gotta wait for Mark Hamill to die so they can own his soul on the internet.
Oh, poor Mark Hamill.
Yeah, kinda.
I guess. I mean, maybe not.
He did get to play a pretty good vampire on the second season of What We Do in the Shadows, so he's got some roles.
I haven't seen that. I kind of want to see that.
You should. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mark Hamill work that I am aware of, but haven't like seen for myself, like him being the Joker.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he just voice acted that, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever physically the Joker.
Yeah, that was in a cartoon. And then what else? He actually, my favorite cameo of his is Criminal Minds.
Wait, who is he in Criminal Minds?
He's just a really weird fucking serial killer. I think he's I'm gonna look this up because it's one of the more like fantasy serial killer. You just really made up this shit. Mark Hamill. I'll find the episode name so you can look it up and watch it, because I know it's on Netflix. Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. Come on.
I remember there's like a Law and Order SVU with Robin Williams that's really good.
Oh, I think I did see that a really long time ago. I would like to see that again. Fuck. What is the episode? Okay, I don't. Maybe he's not the serial killer that I thought he was. Let's see.
Well, I wrote down Criminal Minds Mark Hamill, so I have that so far.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. So he plays a serial killer that they name the Replicator. And
all right.
This is one of the like larger arcs where it's a serial killer who is like specifically going after their team of people.
Oh, okay.
So he like hacks into their computer or whatever. What is the actual crime that he does?
Yeah, what is he replicating?
What does he do? For some reason, I was remembering him as the serial killer on that show that like kidnaps people and then like breaks their bones and joints to turn them into human puppets. But that's not the one that he is.
Oh yeah. That one.
Yeah. I was remembering him as that one, but no, this is part of a multiple episode series, I think, and for some reason it's not telling me what the actual murders are.
You know, I prefer the serial killer who drip feeds nutrients into its victims, paralyzes them, and then turns them into mushroom farms. That was my preferred serial killer.
Was that on Criminal Minds?
I think that might have been on Hannibal.
Huh. That's an interesting one.
It's actually a pretty... Hannibal, at least I've seen season 1, is a pretty good one of those shows. Plus it has Mads Mikkelsen being weird in it, so...
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I should see that.
It's like a Criminal Minds kind of thing, but with scenes instead of scenes in a courtroom, it has scenes in psychology, and then side story stuff where it's just some weird murder scenes, and then it's just Mads Mikkelsen being sort of rigid and weird and making really fancy food in his kitchen. It's kind of amazing.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
That seems good. Yeah.
There's also a Martin Short episode that I think was good in one of those shows. Whenever they get big comedians to do it, they always commit to the bit really well, and I think that works best for those shows.
Something weird about comedians really allows you to tap into the serial killer vibe.
I just remember the one with Robin Williams was very creepy. He does a fantastic job of being a real creep.
Yeah, he might have done this and I just missed it, but I feel like he could have done a lot of creepy horror roles.
He did do 1 Hour Photo.
Oh, wait, yeah, I just learned about that movie the other day, and I made a mental note to watch that because that looked really interesting.
I haven't seen it yet, so...
Okay, we should watch that and talk about it.
I would be into that. I feel like there was something else that happened on my terrible show journey, but sort of unrelated, but I got back into Animal Crossing while I was sick, and that is a very good sit game.
Yeah.
They put out the final update and the expansion, and now you can not just design out homes, you can build your own places for people, like the other animals.
Oh, that's cool.
And they give you a theme that they want, and you can build them their own private residence, and there's a bunch of locations, so you can put it out on a deserted island and stuff like that.
So if you really hate one of your neighbors, you can just be like, you go here now.
Not only that, it's not just your neighbors, it's everybody. So the other ones that you never see start showing up to get houses made.
Oh, that's cool.
My favorites so far have been the ones that want things that are bordering on shitty. So yesterday I made actually my favorite one of the people on my island wanted essentially a streamer house. So I built them a streamer house with a gaming area, and then a couch with a bunch of ring light and ceiling light stuff, and cameras pointed in all the directions they need. And then they give you the option to add effects and accent walls and all this stuff. And I went through and I just made everything in the streamer house kind of moist, and then added weird effects of I think the gamer chair is steaming. And there's electricity problems and their computer. It gives you a lot of freedom to do that stuff, and dumbly you then can upload all of it to the internet for everybody to see. So
I feel like the steaming gamer chair will get a lot of use.
Come see the steaming gamer chair.
I could see that being a big pull for people, making their virtual gamer homes.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It has a lot of like variability in it now, because you can like change the room sizes, add extra rooms, like put partition walls, like all that kind of stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, I really need to play this game.
Yep.
I've been saying this for years. Really need to do it.
And
It's
now
like everything that I wanted Animal Crossing to be.
Now that it's like feature complete, it has more stuff than you can do in it, which is cool.
Yeah. I would like that, because that was always the thing that I didn't enjoy about the old ones, is like they would ask you for specific furniture items, or be like, I really want this, but then they would put it in their house, and their houses were always ugly as fuck, because none of these stupid animals can interior design for shit.
Oh, don't worry. You'll still have like 8 houses that are ugly as fuck around.
Okay, great, yeah. Well,
but now you can take those houses and move them away from you.
Separate those with the bad taste.
They also, the thing I was most excited about, they added the cafe back in. So now there's a museum cafe, and the pigeon will make you coffee again.
That was like my favorite part.
Yep. The sound effects and all of that stuff are like perfect in that section.
Yeah. That's definitely one of my favorite parts of the game. Have they expanded that at all, or is it just the same?
It's similar, but now you can like go to the cafe with people and have conversations about like coffee and stuff like that, it seems like. And he'll make you to-go coffee. Once you go see him enough, he'll start making like takeout lattes and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
They also added cooking and farming, so you can raise vegetables and stuff. And now you can craft furniture, but you can also do a big, extensive set of cooking for people. So you can give people food as gifts and stuff like that now.
I would never turn this game off.
It is extremely addictive now. Like, there is so much shit in it that I went through the other day and just looked at the food I could make so far, and it's like these like really well rendered steaming like fruit pies, and like you can make like all kinds of like you can make like coffee jelly drinks and like all this stuff. Like, there's tons of shit in there. One of the people on my island wanted me to make him a ramen house, and they have everything for it. They have like the hanging flags, they have like all of the cookware you need, and like literally like at least 12 types of ramen that you can cycle through to like figure out what you want to put out and all that stuff.
Oh my god, that's really cool. That's that makes sense for them to branch out into like cooking and stuff, because that seems like a logical thing to include in that game, because everything else has that same kind of building vibe.
It's like real close to being like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing at the same time.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Because I think you can still sell all of the farming stuff for money if you want to like pay off your house stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely like in the best of Nintendo stuff as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I do have a Animal Crossing themed Switch, so you know, go figure.
Yeah, that's fitting. I think it is the best one.
Yeah. Well, we solved it.
We did. Well, sort of. I still need to solve it in that I need to get a Switch and play this game. But it's coming. I'll do it. Actually, now that I have to finish what's in this soju glass so that I can try the other soju, because the other one is peach.
Yeah, you don't want to mix them.
I can't. I don't want to mix think so.
Peach Orange is not so good as like.
I have a feeling the peach one is going to be like really, really sweet.
Yeah, probably.
So, preparing myself for that.
What's your familiarity with Cowboy Bebop, if any?
Very minimal. I know I've seen episodes of it, but kind of in passing. Like,
yeah,
I think Evan and I watched a couple episodes, but I don't think I ever sat down and like watched it with intent.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those shows where like fans of it like it for like it's basically a combination of like Blade Runner and anime mashed together.
mm-hmm.
But it has a lot of anime stuff in it as well as a lot of Blade Runner stuff in it. And like some weekly procedural like feel to it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like Blade Runner anime and like X-Files were mashed together. And one of the things that show does really well is it commits to its bits. Like, even if everybody's goofy and everybody has like lines that are like complete cheesy garbage at points, they clearly care about the storyline they're telling and they put it together well. And then it has a lot of stuff that like I don't remember when it even came out, but it came out a long time ago, like in the 90s at some point. And the I think the year on the stuff we've been watching here was like 97. So like 97, 98 is when it would be coming out. And like I think I saw it starting in like the mid-thousands because my aunt who you met had me start watching it when I was like a teenager. And at that point, I think it was on like Cartoon Network sometimes or something. And I got really into it because one, big dork, two, all the things that it are like playing off of, those ideas I really like. That new Netflix show seems bad, like really bad.
Did they redo it?
They did a live action Netflix show that's like, I think coming out like in days from now. And it just looks terrible.
Yeah. God. I guess the historical Netflix adaptation of like live action.
Yeah, your Death Note.
God, the Death Note. So I kind of want to rewatch that again. Actually, I kind of want to rewatch the anime and then that because I remember it being.
I'll rewatch the anime.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember for that, and it's very similar to the Cowboy Bebop thing, is that the casting for Rook, what's his name? Ryuk, was good because they got Green Goblin Man.
Willem Dafoe, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good casting choice. That's the only one that I remember.
Yeah, and then same thing for Cowboy Bebop. The guy they got to play the main character seems like pretty good. Like I forget his name, Cho, I think. He's a good like somewhat comedic, somewhat serious character actor. That works great. Everything else I've seen of it and everything else I've heard about it from people who are typically pretty good at judging that stuff is just fucking terrible.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, it seems like any sort of anime live adaptation I've heard about has not ever been received super well, but...
I don't think anime is a good thing to make live action. I think that's a bad choice.
Either, because so much of it is just like the exaggeratedness of everything. and you can't really pull that off the same way. Like, one of the things one Netflix anime that I did really like was the Devilman Crybaby one.
Oh, yeah, Devilman.
Yeah, and I think that was in Netflix.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
I can't recommend that one enough if people like kind of depressing and very well done anime.
Yeah, I really liked that one, and that's a really good example of everything being super exaggerated, like very over the top. And it just doesn't really. I can't see something like that ever translating super well to live action.
Yeah, well, and even the old Devilman stuff, like they had a good thing to work from for that. Like the Devilman has like a series and movies in the past, and they're all like pretty well done.
I haven't seen any of those. I'm just on the Netflix.
I think Devilman's been around for like a long ass time. I want to say that started probably in like the 60s or something. That's the whole Japanese media renaissance post Spider-Man. I think it came out of that stuff. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize that it went back that far. I knew it was like a comic, like an anime comic before, or manga, but I didn't know it went back that far.
There was like a part of the reconstruction from World War II and like the American media stuff getting to them turned a lot of like their version of hero stuff into like superhero stuff. So like that was sort of the blowback series. Like there's Devilman and like Karos and a few others that are like anti-heroes that show up a little bit later, and I think a lot of that's in the 60s of like, hey, everybody's doing like Power Rangers-y kind of stuff, or like Ultraman. We got to make something that's like not just the stereotypical stuff, and then it's a bunch of like evil-ish characters and things.
Yeah, which is more interesting.
And Japan's better when it comes to like having a lot of those characters be like morally consistent, because I feel like Devilman is very like good at being a bad thing. Like nothing is good about Devilman. It just happens to be a character that is like not inherently evil towards everyone. And things like the US's version of that being like Wolverine and stuff, where it's like, yeah, I know
he's morally complicated.
Yeah, you murdered a lot of people, but you're also a school teacher now. Don't worry about it.
And it's Hugh Jackman, so can you ever have anything against Hugh Jackman? Of course not.
Come on. I mean, you can have something against Hugh Jackman, but we can't just talk about The Greatest Showman forever.
I wonder if that dude gets like super mad whenever anyone brings up The Greatest Showman.
I think he loves it. He being like a pretty obvious closeted gay man and getting to do like the dumbest musical ever. I feel like that's probably a feather in the hat.
Sure he enjoyed it, but I'm sure he was also like, no one appreciates my work.
Have you ever seen Hugh? Oh, you have definitely, because I've made you see it, even if you forgot. Hugh Jackman as Captain Hook singing. I don't remember the song. It's that weird Captain Hook movie where they like do covers of like modern being like early thousands music. It's so fucking bad.
I must have
you will remember it soon when I send you that clip.
That sounds like something you'd do.
It's rough. It's really rough. And you gotta see it.
Yeah, okay. I do kind of want to see it.
You do. Like it, you definitely do.
Fuck. Yeah. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He can even be in Real Steel. That's fine. I'll watch the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. He knows we'll watch it. we'll do it anyway.
He somehow convinced everybody that Logan was like a really important movie. He has power.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like a comic book movie that people were like, finally, it's art. It's like, it's not. You just had Hugh Jackman in slightly older man makeup walk around with a limp, but also be Wolverine. Like, that's not high art.
They'll just take what they can get. They're
Also,
like, thank you.
That movie still has young Hugh Jackman in it, with older Hugh Jackman. Well, if you don't see me later, you'll know why.
Is there, like, stationary road rage happening outside your house?
I don't fucking know. It's been wild out here lately. Speaking of that, actually, we had a tornado warning come in on the phone during sick week.
I saw that. I saw that happening.
So that was fun.
The Earth is keeping it spicy for us, you know?
Yeah, you know, Seattle tornadoes, no big deal. Get them all the time. Right here in Tornado Alley. No,
right here in Seattle, Tornado Alley.
no global problems around here.
No.
What things have you had planes delayed by? was
You know,
was one of those like a fire tornado or some shit?
just, you know, like a fire, tornado, dust storms.
Yeah.
Yeah, tornado warnings mostly in Boise, Idaho, where tornadoes happen.
Normal stuff. That's what I like about this whole global warming being over thing, is all the normal stuff.
Yeah. Now it's just like I'm trying to think of a good game to compare this to, where you just get like natural disasters that you have to deal with occasionally. Have you ever played Virtual Villagers?
Wait, is that on PlayStation 1?
I've only played it on the PC.
Fuck. Virtual Villagers. If this is the game I'm thinking of, it was Sega CD that I played on emulator.
It might have been, and then just like...
Which, let me tell you, if you're out there and you have an emulator and you've not played Sega CD games, they are fucking buck wild, and I suggest it. I had no idea. Like, when I got that emulator, last Christmas, I believe, that shit is nuts. All right, I'm finally gonna move away from my tab open on the infrastructure bill, because guess we can forget about that.
Not important.
Virtual Villagers.
I think there are a couple of them too.
There are.
Yeah. There used to be an app too on like iPhone.
Holy shit. They put this out on Nintendo DS?
Did they really?
Yeah.
When?
Let's check the Wikipedia.
I totally would have played that on. That would have made so much more sense to play it on DS than.
It looks like probably 2010. Okay.
Well, whatever. I don't remember when I played it on the computer, but there is kind of like a set storyline in this thing, but it's one of those where you have to just like unlock secrets or like do certain things to unlock the next process in the storyline, and you're basically just trying to keep your people from starving. But
so not to get too Wolf Quest on this, but Virtual Villagers Origins 2 was released for iOS and Android in 2017.
This is good information.
Just saying. All right. Look up Virtual Villagers on your app store and you might see something.
Yeah, I might do that later. I don't know why I like that game so much, but it's so stupid. It's like It's like a drag and drop game where you just have these villagers kind of like auto completing tasks for you,
Right.
and you like tell them what to specialize in. So you have people who can do whatever. So you have like doctors and farmers and fishermen, and then like when you want to make people have babies, you just like drag them on top of each other, and they start making out, and then they go into a hut. And then the lady comes out with a baby.
Hey, that's how it happens.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I'm gonna go grab my peach soju because I want to try that.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Kurt, I will be podcasting for the next half hour.
Half hour.
Turn the sound off on this. That sound you guys just heard was a message from Kurt right behind me to other people saying that I would be podcasting for another hour, but we are at about 2.5 hours, so that ain't gonna be it. Title is Drag Them on Top of Each Other. There we go.
Don't forget your quinoa.
Did you just say something?
Don't forget your quinoa.
Oh yeah, I'll get to it. Our fact-checking portion of the podcast is getting loud today. Side note, not that anybody who watches this probably cares. Side note, I do remember your name, Charlie, now, after getting it wrong in a really major way last time. We're coming up on 90 episodes, and this whole book of multiple episodes per page is a page away from being full. So look forward to me having to get a new notebook. I think I have one set up, actually. And by episode 90, I do intend to have a song off, getting some theme music in at the beginning in the most low-tech way possible, and addressing people who might be fans of this show. You can email us at it's this week's podcast, all one word, at gmail.com. If you have music you think would be good, I'll have to vet it, of course, because maybe won't vet it much. But you could have that show up at the start of an episode if you want. We've got malleable standards here, and production quality second to none. But yeah, I could start that early, so we'll see for next episode, but definitely by episode 90, I think there's going to be some bad or amazing music to come in on, so that'll be fun. And I'm sure Madison forgot, just like she forgot about her Wednesday happening from earlier, so we'll see. Monster Energy, if you want to sponsor us, you should. Your terrible juice really got a hold of me. You get the stuff?
I got the stuff. Okay. Also, this one's almost gone.
I think I'm going to finish mine up pretty soon here.
Is this the same brand as yours? This is Han John.
No, this is Cooksoon-dang Motgoli.
Okay. Just the green bottles of it. Wait. Alright. Well, the peach one is 14% and the mandarin orange is 12%.
Oh, cool.
So I guess peach is what you get. You want to get fucked up. Ow. Ooh.
Again? Have you now cut yourself twice on lids for the same products?
Yeah, that did happen. Ow, that's a good one.
Do you have any disinfectant?
No, it's not. It's not that bad. Okay, time is this empty? Okay. Make sure we get the pure peach taste.
How's that?
Oh, fuck, that's good. It's actually, like, usually when flavored, they're, like, ridiculous and too sweet, but... Alright. Well, that's a problem.
Add that to the list of things I need to check into out there.
Yeah, what do I do with the lid?
That sounds pretty good just as a flavored alcohol.
It's really good. It's like, it's very mild.
Over here, I'm going to bust into this quinoa chocolate and see how that is.
Oh, nice.
It feels like a crackle bar, so let's hope a good one of those. And not trash candy like a crackle bar.
I agree. Anyone who likes crackle can die. I don't know. Those are the worst candy bars.
They're definitely, well, candy bar, they're one of the worst, but for the, like, Halloween single-serve candies, I gotta go with those Palmer chocolate, like, weird Easter coins and stuff.
Yeah, those are weirdly good.
Those are like, you can like them. I know a lot of people who like them, but they're just like bad chocolate quality, I think, is my problem.
I think so. When it comes to chocolate, of course, what's the crackle factor on that? Looks pretty good.
It's good chocolate, and it's hard chocolate, so the crackle isn't that noticeable.
Huh.
Honestly, it feels like the crackle just keeps you from sucking on it. I think it's unnecessary.
The crackle is just introducing an unnecessary middleman to get the chocolate in your body.
Yeah, it's forcing me to chew it.
That's stupid.
So I'll buy more.
But I think on the spectrum of chocolate,
yeah,
you know that I enjoy like the dark chocolate, the good chocolate with weird shit in it. That's all interesting to me.
Yeah, we are on the same page with that.
Yes. Love that stuff. For me, the like dead middle of the spectrum of like when everyone thinks chocolate is like a Hershey's chocolate bar, and I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible. But on the other side of the spectrum, that's like really, really bad chocolate, worse than Hershey's, is like the candy, like the coins, the really bad chocolate that's almost like malty for some reason, and I love that shit. Like,
honestly,
I love the worst of it and the best of it.
The problem with liking the worst of it and the best of it, which I agree, the problem with that is that both the middle ground stuff, if it is like not fresh or if it's like